Hey there. Have you ever heard of Pareto's principle? It's also referred to as the 80-20 rule, and it basically states that 80% of your outcomes come from 20% of your efforts. So I was thinking, like, as a believer of Christ, if I were to apply that to my walk with Christ, what would be that 20%? Well, the thing with Pareto's principle is you don't have to stop at 20%. You can keep whittling that 20% down until you get to the top 1%. In fact, that is where you're going to have the greatest leverage. And it got me thinking. Not only did it get me thinking, it got me doing a deep dive in scripture. And here's the one thing I have discovered, at least in my view. I'm not a theologian, I'm not a Bible scholar, just a follower of Christ who loves Jesus and loves pursuing truth. But here's that 1% that I believe is our Pareto's principle, 1%. And that is to fulfill the purpose for which we were created. But maybe you're thinking, well, what is that? Well, you know what? The Bible tells us what it is, and there's three things that I have seen in Scripture that are our purpose. Number one is to know Christ. Number two, to make him known. And number three, to bring him glory. Hi, I'm Robin Coates, and this is the Suede Sofa Podcast. This is my first episode, and if you are wanting to live that 1% life as a follower of Christ, you know what? This podcast may be for you. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about how to live that 1%, but in our lives in a very practical way. How do we do it in this day and age? Like, if you're anything like me, these last 5 to 10 years have been turbulent, to say the least, just with what we've gone through on a world scale, but also in your faith. My personal faith has been shaken, my theology, which required me to do a deep dive and really question, what do I believe? Why do I believe it? And pursue truth. For me, there's also been a lot of noise in the church and just being confused with just different cultural issues. And how do I wrestle with these? How do I pursue truth? How do I live my faith in this world? If you're looking for a place for you where you want to belong, where you want to join with other people of like precious faith, people who are wrestling with tough questions and just pursuing truth, this might be the place for you. I was reading a passage in First Chronicles, and it is in chapter 27, verse 33. And as I'm reading this chapter, it's, if I'm being very real with you, it is a very boring chapter. And it's basically listing all these different people in King David's administration. So it's just a list of names. And as I'm reading through this, there is three words that jumped out of the page and grabbed my attention. And those three words described a particular guy. It's kind of a no-name, somebody we've never heard. But the title he was given was the King's Friend. And I just could not shake that phrase, the King's Friend. And it made me think of Jesus in the book of John, where he talks about us being his friends, where he says, I no longer call you servants, I call you friends. And as I was preparing for this podcast, I felt like this is going to be kind of the foundation of this podcast, a place where I can invite others to pull up a chair and come and sit at the King's table, because you've been given an invitation by Jesus himself to come and sit, to come and know him, to make him known and to bring him glory. But he wants to know you. He wants an intimate relationship with you where you can come and get to know him and to hear his heart. And so I'm inviting you to come and join us on this podcast. In the show notes, you will find, I've got mentoring pages that I will be placing in the show notes. I also have created a discipleship track, if you will. It's kind of what I wish I had had in my growth as a believer. And if you're like, I don't know where to start, I don't know how to build a foundation, this might be a place for you to start. I'm sure there are a lot of other places and other people who have kind of created a discipleship track, and maybe you want to find a different one. I'm just encouraging you to get on the journey of discipleship so that you can be formed into the image of Christ. And my discipleship track, I will have a document, and it will be in the show notes with links so you can go video by video. So welcome to the Suede Sofa Podcast.